Hello there and welcome to Tom's Warhammer Minis. In this guide we're going to be focusing once again on the Death Company of the Blood Angels chapter. For this one I'm taking on a Dreadnought in the reverse edge highlight technique. If you're not used to that method, nice and simple. For this scheme especially, highlights are so important. They need to be there to really distinguish all the different features, which of course takes a lot of time and hassle to perfect. However, in my method, nice and simple, you'll be painting absolutely zero armor edge highlights. That's the power of contrast. So grab your paints and your brushes and let's get hobbying. And we're beginning with a Dreadnought for the Blood Angels Death Company. So like I like to do at the beginning of every single guide, just go for the ground basics so we're all on the same wavelength. The model is fully assembled and it has been primed in White Scar. I like the bright bold vid finish, but you might be wondering it's going to be black. So why not spray it black? Well, obviously with contrast painting, but I'm going to be doing something called the reverse edge highlight technique. So this is where I build from light to dark. Essentially with these armor panels, we've got a ton of edge highlights to do to make it look perfect. But there is a way we can skip all of them. So we're going to build up an underlayer. It's going to be a bit sloppy on this armor, and that's going to be done deliberately because black, being such a strong final colour, it wipes out any mistakes. Essentially, when we get to the black stage, we paint it up to the edge, but we don't go over the edge, just meaning that previous contrast paints become the automatic edge highlight, saving a ton of time, and you control how crisp and neat it is. So with that said, let's get started. So first up, what I want to explain here is trust the process. Yes, it looks messy and horrible. There's a reason to that. So let's get covering the paint first. To begin with, we're taking Space Wolves Grey. This is the first bit of our reverse edge highlight, the underlayer colour if you like. We're building up to what will be the automatic edge highlight. Now, traditionally, with contrast paints, they obviously don't work well on flat panels. Obviously, there are ways to make them work perfectly, having that nice smooth finish. As you can see, I've gone very sloppy and very messy, deliberately to speed up the time because this is going to be black armor. Essentially, as long as all the edge highlights are nice and neat, the actual inside surface areas like you see here, they could be as pulled and thick and heavy as you like, as long as it doesn't spill over the edge. That's the whole point. So we can just slap it on quite literally, nice and simple, get it in place as much as possible. This is all the black armor paneling. So let it dry. Don't worry about the pooling. If you're concerned with how that's going to affect the end result, remember we're going to be using Black Legion. This is going to go on these flat surface areas, so all these mistakes just vanish. It's as simple as that. Trust the process. Let it dry. We need to shade it next to get to the edge highlight colour. We're going to do that now. Next up is going to get even messier, but still trust the process. I am very happy with the way it's looking. It's the next step that matters. So we're taking Drakenhof Nightshade, applying it all over that Space Wolves Grey, essentially toning it down to what I want the edge highlight colour to be. As you can see, it pulls away quite neatly from those edges. Obviously, once again, making sure it doesn't excessively pull over those edges, but it's not the end of the world. If we do have an odd mistake here and there, we can correct it, though I won't be doing that until the black is in place. So this is what I'm looking for. This is absolutely perfect. It doesn't look it, but let's move on, let it dry, and you'll see what happens next. And next up, we're taking Black Legion and doing the reverse edge highlight. So this is what I've been mentioning. If you've seen these videos before, you know exactly what's happening here. Take the paint, apply it on the surface area, up to the edge, not including the edge. That previous Space Wolves Grey and Drakenhof Nightshade is the automatic edge highlight. Now, I'm not going to lie, it is going to take time. It's going to take a lot less time than you were to individually highlight every panel. The advantage is, once a panel is painted, it is done forever. And the other beauty is, there are certain edge highlights that, when it's fully assembled, they are very, very tough and hard to reach. Certainly when we get into the insides around here. However, with the reverse edge highlight, we control where those highlights go. It makes it easier. So get that done. There are opportunities where you might make mistakes. In a sense, I'm going to go just over here where the build line is. You can see it just doesn't look quite right. So I'm going to just get a nice solid bit of paint as a layer in that area just to fix it and make it neater. It's the same if you go over the Black Legion. Say you went over that edge, what are you going to do? You can either wash your brush and quickly wipe away the mistake, or just let it dry and we can fix it in a traditional way. The colour you'd be looking for here is Fenrisian Grey. It is identical in matching. So, get that done. The black is now complete. We're going to move on to the next step. Next up, we're taking Gryph Hound Orange, and once again we're doing the reverse edge highlight. So this is all of the weapon casing that we see on the Dreadnought. Nice and simple, 2 at the front, 2 at the top, easy peasy. Just a simple contrast base coat. Now normally I'd let it dry and I'd use Berserker Bloodshade just to get into the recesses. However, I'm not using Lahmium Medium here. We've just got such small surface areas where you can get the contrast painting really nicely. And if you get enough into the recess, we can just skip that shading step. So make sure you've got good coverage, let it dry. We'll move on to the next step. Next up, we're going to finish off all of that gun casing. Once again, as you can see, the reverse edge highlight. We're applying a red into those central areas, up to the edge, not over the edge, finishing it off in nice one simple go. This is a mix. Think of it like Mephiston Red, however in contrast form. So into a palette, take 3 parts of Baal Red. This gives us a nice smooth, flat coverage. However, that is too bright for what we want. So we're adding 1 part of Fleshshade Red. However, this can get quite overruly and overwhelm the model quickly. It's quite thick. So into that mix, add 2 parts of Lahmium Medium. Stir that together well. So as a reminder, 3 parts of Baal Red, 1 part of Fleshshade Red, 2 parts of Lahmium Medium, and apply it in the reverse edge highlight method. So get that done. We're ready to move on to the metallic details. Next up, we're going to base coat all of our remaining details and shade them, and this is of course the metallic colours. Some of it we're going to use contrast paints and other bits just to make them sort of shine and glow, such as the cables, but for the most part we need this in place to begin with. So nice and simple, let's just name the paints and talk for the shades. To begin with, all of our silver details we want bright, and that is going to be Iron Hand Steel. We need bright, obviously. With the black here, we need something that actually stands out. While Iron Warriors is a great base coat on large surface areas like this, it just won't show up. So Iron Hand Steel is absolutely perfect for that one. For our gold, nice and simple, we're keeping things classic here with Retributor Armour, as you can see. And finally, because of the way this model's built, we've got some bronze detailing too. And I want something, once again, that is bright, that stands out really in your face, that actually makes things pop. And the colour here is Screaming Bell. Real strong bronze colour. So you've got the fuel exhaust at the back here. And then obviously the weapons, if you're picking this version. And I've done these little coils in the hand too. Nice and simple. Now we're going to go straight to shading. Once again, 3 colours, 1 for each of those colours. To begin with, for our silver details, I'm taking Drakenhof Nightshade. It's my personal preference over non-oil because it's really much more darker in the recesses. Makes things pop even more. So, that's for all of our silver. For all of our gold details, keeping very nice and classic with Reikland Fleshshade. And for our Screaming Bell details, we want something that actually is a bit darker, that really goes into the recesses, which Reikland Fleshshade won't do well. So the colour here is Agrax Earthshade, nice and simple. With that, the model is, apart from the base, battle ready. Of course, we're not going to leave it there. We've got the metallics to highlight, which is going to be mostly dry brushing, and there's a few additional contrast paints to do as well. So let's move on to the next step. And next up, we're going to highlight all of those metallic details. The silver, let's just be frank, is a dry brush. The rest of it we're doing by traditional hand painting methods. So let's start with that silver. Using a small dry brush, because obviously we don't want to catch the details we painted so far, we're taking Stormhost Silver. Really, the heavy focus here is the claws, just because we're going to put a contrast paint and additional paint over that to give it the blue glow effect, whereas the rest of it, bog standard dry brushing where you can reach. If you feel you're going to catch the details on the inside, honestly, don't worry. The black is so overwhelming in a positive way, you're not really going to notice that. Your eyes, well my eyes anyway, draw automatically to the armour rather than metallics. They're just subtly there. where the metallics do stand out that we want to get is actually the gold and the bronze. That's what I feel anyway. So that's where we're going to traditional edge highlighting. Our gold details keeping nice and classic with Liberator Gold. As you can see, just makes it really pop brightly. Same for our bronze. We're taking Sycorax Bronze. Again, just to make it really pop and stand out. So with that done, all the details are painted. What we're going to do now is just take some contrast paints, but also some air paints. Although this is not using an airbrush, we're going to use traditional paint brushing methods just to pick out tiny little details just to make the model pop, as well as focusing on the base. Next up, we're going to start base coating the claws in a contrast colour. I'm also applying this on the base too. This is just to match the rest of what I'm going to be doing for the Blood Angels, especially when Armageddon comes out in a couple of days. So obviously when it comes to basing, you do what works for you. For this, nice and simple, pure frost heart. Just base coat it over the claws, and if you wanted to copy along the base, then that's exactly what I've done there too. Now we need to let it dry. And once that's happened, I've taken Stormhost Silver once again, and it's just to re-dry brush the edges of all of those claws. It doesn't have to be perfect, just as long as we capture some of the edges, just to give that nice sharp highlight, because I'm going to be adding a second colour over that. It just means it shines through in that next step. So that's the dry brushing. Finally, we obviously want to give our Dreadnought a name. I've just gone online and looked up some Dreadnought names for the Death Company. So using white scar, as this is going to stand out a lot more than black. After all, we've got so much black going on, and the actual recess shade of the gold is quite dark. Just write whatever name you want. Easier with an odd number of letters. I've only got 6 letters in this one, but if you've got 5, 7, it's much better. In that instance, always start in the middle with the odd number in the center part, work from the end, and then just do the ones in between, as simple as that. When it comes to an even one, just start at each end and just bring it in together. So get that done, we'll move on to the next step. And finally, we're going to finish off the model with just a few additional colours. Things like the lights, that kind of stuff, the cables that I mentioned that you can see here, will guide you through that, and nice and simple, applying texture to the base. So to begin with, we're going to take some air paints. We are not using an airbrush. I don't own one, I don't need one, they don't work for me. However, we can use the paints by hand to our advantage. So I'm using the clear paints from Games Workshop because they have a special bonus to them. To begin with, we're taking Calf Blue Clear. This is going over the entirety of the claws. I've done the light up here, the light up there, that kind of stuff. Now, when applying this paint in particular, not just Calf Blue, but the ones I'm going to mention, expect the drying time to take 4 to 5 times longer than a normal paint. They will be very sticky and tacky for a long time. It will dry in a nice glossy finish, and that's personally what I want. So you can see the shine's already there, but they're still wet and drying, and trust me, that's in quite a lot of heat. So just be aware of that, because we don't want to spoil the work we've done. The next colour I'm using in the same format is Angron Red Clear. So just picking out a different light bulb, that kind of stuff. Just pick what you want. I've done the backs of these, nice and simple. Next up, just to add a bit of colour and variety, I've done the cables up here in green. You can see the ones at the back here in green as well. The colour here is Mortarian Green Clear. So get that done. Nice and simple. Let them just dry naturally. We can now work on the base. Of course, like I said, do the basing in any style that suits your army. This is the theme that I'm going with. So Valhalla Blizzard is what I've applied on here. So what I'm going to do now is just do a little bit of freehanding on here, and then just add a few transfers just to really finish off that model and give it a real unique look. Next up, we're going to do the freehanding on the knee pad here. Sometimes there's one up here too, but of course with the icon there, that's going to block out that kind of place. So nice and simple. Let's talk the colours first. For the base coat, taking Mephiston Red. Once we're happy and it's in place, for the edge highlight, just taking Wild Rider Red. Now that's the colours, but applying it is a little bit tricky. Obviously we want to kind of balance it out as best as possible, and it's not easy. in that sense. Make sure we got the center area in focus, get a chunky line in place, other chunky line, etc., and just map it out from there. Don't worry about it being all over the place and being thick. Don't worry about the edge highlights being all over the place and thick. What I've had to do several times is fix it, getting it nice and neat and as straight as possible, just by simply taking Black Legion. So obviously waiting for the paint to dry, and once it's done, just applying it in place. So if you're happy where the X is and do the edge highlight, for instance, do a chunky edge highlight going onto the black area. That way, like the reverse edge highlight almost, we're taking Black Legion and just wiping out most of that Wild Rider red until we've got a nice, neat, thin, crisp edge highlight line. So get that done. Also, other thing to mention, when it comes to it in the center area, a lot of it also has a transfer right in the middle, so we can block out a little bits of mistakes there too. So let's move on to the final step. And finally, we're going to cover the transfers. So just for reference, I'm using the Def Company transfer sheet. This was something that came with the Blood Angel Army set last year. So nice and simple, using these transfers. Of course, any Blood Angel transfer will work wonders on this model. So that's the sheet I'm using. Let's show the model. Nice and simple, applying them like you normally would. However, you need to prep the surface area first, and I'm quite old school in this sense, going the classic method of using art coat to begin with. So this is a gloss varnish. Before we apply the transfer, just apply it over the entire panel. So let's take this transfer here for instance. I'm not applying the art coat in the area, I'm applying it over the entire section. That way it keeps everything consistent and smooth. Once that's dried, choose your transfers, apply them with water like you normally would, and just let it dry. Now, one of the things I have done here, the transfer was quite big in that sense and it overlapped, so just using something like Abaddon Black just to create that natural line, just to kind of show that they've kind of painted it on. Obviously we know it hasn't, it is a transfer and it's completely over that section, but we're creating the illusion. So once they're in place, we need to seal them down forever, and I'm using Storm Shield. Normal matte varnish, anyone will do. This is Games Workshop's own, and in this instance I've applied 2 coats. So obviously letting the first coat dry completely, go over the entire section, and just because we've done a large surface area, I've applied a second coat, just because from time to time I miss the tiniest bit of gloss varnish, and obviously that will stand out quite a lot on this matte surface. So 2 coats will just make sure we cover everything. And with that, the Dreadnought is complete. All I'm going to do now is add some tufts just to finish off the base, and then we'll showcase it at the end. And there we have it, my Blood Angels Def Company Dreadnought is complete. I mean, Dreadnoughts are just great models in that sense anyway. This colour scheme is really effective in that sense, and the way I do it, the reverse edge highlight, yes, it takes time, but the whole point is we want models that look good, and to have that power and control over the edge highlights and not having to do them, it does make a huge difference. And the beauty here is what you see here can be transferred to tanks, you name it, it is doable. Now, if this guide has helped and inspired you, then please do give it that all-important like and share it too. Already, so many people get helped out with what I do, so by sharing it, all you're doing is fulfilling the purpose of my channel and supporting the Warhammer community. And if you haven't subscribed, then please do consider doing so. The more the channel grows, the more I get to continue doing this, supporting the awesome Warhammer community. So, until that next video, do look after yourselves, and happy hobbying.